There is one rule in the very OddParents that makes the entire show a tragedy.
Timmy Turner, you're in terrible trouble.
We all thought the very OddParents was about magic, fairy godparents, unlimited wishes, a kid living his dreams. But that's not what the show was really about, because this was never about the wishes. It was about why he needed them. Timmy Turner didn't get fairy godparents because he was a lucky guy. He got them because his life was already broken. His parents didn't see him, they didn't listen, and they didn't show up. And the show tells you that over and over again. Season 1, episode The Big Problem. Timmy's parents ignore him while he's clearly struggling for attention.
Can't wait to get home. At least I'm big in my parents' eyes.
Hey, short stuff! Guess what? We're going to the movies!
All right!
Not we're, as in all of us. We're, as in your mom and I.
Timmy literally wishes to be older just to escape his life. Not for power, not for fun, just not to be a kid anymore. That's not a joke. That's a kid trying to leave his situation. Take for instance, season 1, episode Power Mat. Timmy puts on the VR helmet for complete control.
Cool! Video electric shredder balls of doom!
Now, what you're thinking is he wishes for complete control, absolute authority, because in real life, he has none. And what happens? Everything collapses because control doesn't fix the problem. It just exposes it. Even at home, you can see it clearly. In multiple episodes across early seasons, his parents are more focused on themselves than him. Most of the time, they don't even know where their own kid is at.
Where were you? There was a 15-second period I had no idea where you were.
They ignore what he says, brush off everything he feels. I'm not saying they're evil, they're just absent. So Timmy doesn't fix his life, he escapes it. That's what the fairies really are. Not a reward, a response. A system for kids who have no control. And no one's paying attention. And the rules prove it. No wishing for love.
Maybe they can talk some sense into their son.
Good idea! We can't destroy true love.
Think about that. The one thing Timmy actually needs is the one thing he's not allowed to have. Because if he could fix that, there would be no story. Every wish resets. Every problem comes back. Nothing actually changes. That's not random. That's the point. The show traps him in a loop, a cycle where he can feel better, but never ever actually getting better. And it all leads back to one place. His parents. They weren't just background characters. They were the reason everything existed. If they paid attention, if they cared, and if they actually saw him, there would be no Cosmo, no Wanda, no wishes, no escape. Everything traces back to them, and that's the part we miss as kids. We focus on the chaos, the jokes, the magic, the fun, but the truth was always there, hidden in plain sight. This wasn't a story about a kid with powers. It was a story about a kid who needs his parents and never got them. And maybe that's why nothing ever changed. The one thing he actually needed was the one thing he could never ever wish for. Because in part 2, we need to talk about the one thing people get completely wrong. The biggest lie in the fairy OddParents is that the fairies were there to help. They weren't. Sure, they made things easier, but they really never made things better, because there's a difference between fixing a problem and undoing it. Season 1, episode Christmas Every Day. Timmy wishes for it to be Christmas every day.
Wish it were Christmas each day. Christmas! Again!
In this episode, Timmy gets exactly what he wants. Infinite joy, presence, attention. But by day 15, the joy is gone. And by day 30, the world is collapsing. Because when you remove the ending, you remove the meaning. Every wish Timmy makes follows the same exact gravity. It feels like a solution in the moment, a way to bypass the friction of his life, but it's just a band-aid on a gunshot wound.
And furthermore, under no circumstances is any fairy allowed to grant an I wish it was Christmas every day wish ever again.
The magic sparkles go across the screen, the room resets, and boom, the mess is gone. The mistake is erased. But look at what else is gone. The growth, the lessons, the resilience. Every time the world resets, Timmy is put back in the exact same room with the exact same parents who still don't know he's there. Wishes aren't progress, they're just a pause button. And that's where the dependency starts. When you have an undo button for your life, you stop learning how to move forward. You stop trying to fix the foundation, and you start trying to manage the symptoms. Timmy doesn't grow up. He literally can't. The system won't let him. Because think about it, the mechanics of the show, the moment Timmy is no longer miserable, the moment he actually stands up to his goddamn parents, the moment he actually finds a way to be happy without the wand, Cosmo and Wanda have to leave. The fairies aren't just helping him survive his environment, they're incentivized to keep him in it. There are a life support system that requires the patient to stay sick. So the loop continues, wish, reset, and stagnate. He's trapped in a childhood that never ends, in a house where he's never seen, using magic that ensures that he would never have to change. He's not being saved, he's being preserved like a mummy. And the darker truth of the reset, Timmy stays 10 years old forever. Not because it's just a cartoon and he made that crazy wish, but because the only thing worse than being ignored by his parents is being left behind by the only thing that actually listens to him. But if magic is a trap, we have to take a look at the person who holds the key, because in part 3 we have to talk about the cost of convenience and the woman who was paid to be the villain. Now, we talked about neglect and the stagnation, but we have to address the elephant in the room. The parents aren't just dumb, they're accomplices. Take for instance season 1, episode Dog Day Afternoon. Timmy is literally screaming for help right next to his parents, and they act like he's invisible, completely silent. But the second Vicky speaks her sweet fake voice, they respond instantly.
Bye, Timmy. Bye, Vicky. We're going.
No! Don't leave! Take me with you! I love you. Yes, I do.
Oh, listen to Vicky. Isn't it great to have a babysitter that loves our Timmy so much?
Why is Vicky still there? In any sane world, she would be fired or in a juvenile center within 20 minutes.
Come on! I'm not...
Let's go, punk.
But the Turners keep her on payroll for a very specific dark reason. Yes, I do not read your comments. She absorbs all of Timmy's resentment so they don't have to. By outsourcing the parenting to a monster, mom and dad remain the cool parents who just happen to be clueless. Season 3, episode Ruled Out. Timmy wishes his parent cared less about strict rules. The instant the magic takes effect, they don't just relax, they visually regress into rebellious teenagers.
Spinach.
I couldn't care less about foods that are good for you or your colon. Tonight we're having candy. And for dessert, candy.
I bought a super screen surround sound television set equipped with every channel known to man and several known to...
They aren't the ones locking him in the cage, Vicky is. They aren't the ones yelling, Vicky is. They get to keep their hands clean while playing a teenager to do their dirty work for breaking their son's spirit. But hold on, Vicky isn't the villain of the story. She's the service they're subscribing to. And whenever Timmy tries to cancel that subscription, whenever he shows them a literal bruises or psychological scars, they ignore the ticket. Season 4, episode Vicky loses her icky. Timmy parents leave for dinner at the Cake and Bacon, but they don't actually go to the restaurant. They would rather sit in a silent parked car for half the night than spend one more minute being parents.
Bet!
Yeah, then boy, are you gonna be disappointed, because your mom and I are out of here. We're going to the Cake and Bacon. But we're not hungry yet, so we'll wait in the car.
They look at the chainsaw wielding teenager and choose to see a dare girl, because the truth is too expensive. If they admit Vicky is evil, they have to stay home, and staying home is the one thing they refuse to do. It's the ultimate convenience economy. They trade Timmy's safety for their freedom, his mental health for their peace and quiet. But here's the twist. Vicky isn't parents too. She's the magic anchor. Remember, magic only comes to kids who are miserable. And if Vicky goes away, Timmy's lives get better. And if Timmy's lives get better, the fairies have to leave. So the system needs Vicky to be cruel. The parents need her to stay free. And the fairies need her to stay relevant. Season 2, episode Microphony. Timmy had to use a radio to broadcast a version of himself that his parents would actually listen to.
Report from our Cosmo copter.
Well, Double T, a strong man's lame ad.
Oh, Vicky, I've come for my money back, because Double T said you stink.
He's trapped in a loop where every adult in his life has monetized his misery. His parents pay for it, Vicky profits from it, and the magic feeds on it. The cost of convenience isn't a price the parents pay, it's the price they make Timmy pay, so they never have to grow up. Because in part 4, we need to talk about the warning the show leaves you with, and why Timmy isn't just sad, it's familiar. By the end of every episode, nothing changes. Same house, same parents, same life, and it all resets. No growth, no progress, no real solution. just the same cycle starting over again. And that's the point, because the Very Odd Parents was never about fixing problems. It was about avoiding them. Timmy didn't lose because he made bad wishes. He lost because nothing in his real life ever changed. And the one thing he actually needed was the one thing he could never wish for. At some point, everyone finds escape. Something that makes things easier, something that gives control, something that feels like a solution. But if it replaces reality instead of improving it, you don't move forward, you stay stuck. Just like Timmy Turner, still wishing, still resetting, still waiting for something to change without ever changing it himself. And that's why the show feels different when you watch it now, because it's not about a lucky kid anymore. It's about what happens when escape becomes a habit. And the worst part, it works just enough to keep you from ever fixing what was actually wrong. Timmy didn't have everything. He had enough just to stay stuck.